I'm in there for that power. I'm in there for that power. In there for that power. I don't really take no loss, I bring the metal out. One phone call you cross, I bring the rebel out. Handgun, shotgun blade, I keep it every house heavy now. And I don't never come with light work. Bring a plumber case if you wonder, I let that pipe burst. Nice verse, and my delivery immaculate. Take a knee whenever I'm aiming, that's word to Kaepernick. But I'm a stand-up nigga, really, I ain't rapping shit. I can lead your way through the dark, I keep a candle lit. Got a vision, and shit, I keep it 20/20. No pot to pissin', but they'll leave you missing for the love of money. Sweet as honey, but that savor is sour, cause you ain't got nothing for them, they'll change by the hour. Proper power come with respect, whether you down or you up. Claiming you a different breed, but I found you a mutt. This ain't a game, you don't wanna play it. These other rappers know my name, and really it's a shame they don't wanna say it. Cause I'll appear for that debt, they don't wanna pay it. Yeah. But I'ma take it for that power, in it for that power. Only reason living, trying to get it for that power. I just want that power, in it for that power. Need it every minute, every second, every hour. I just want that power, in it for that power. Need it every minute, every second, every hour. I just want that power, get it for that power. I'm a cold leader, ain't no motherfucking coward. I just want that power. I got it all figured out now. If you raw, get it on the floor, put this pipe down. Pick up the floor, put the mic down. I'm skied up with my feet up. Shit, I'm feeling nice now. Shit, I need top dollar. I want niggas see me in the demon head screaming, let the block holler. My dog loyal like a rock waller, but lock jaw on you niggas like a pit and will not cower. I have him shake him down, pill him over the nozzle. Promise whatever I follow, it won't make a sound. I don't got a lot of words, got a lot of nerve. I'm keep killing rappers till I get what I deserve. Gotta keep it raw to the oils. Gotta keep it fresh for it's for you. Got a couple hitters, get a message and they on you. Pistol wall aluminum, had you rapping for you. While you popping perks, bitches approach me out of thirst. Is it cursed? What's the point of hitting? It ain't where it hurts. Cause I be on my ditty, bopping in every video. Yo, I don't feed a hoe, let a star and show her no pity. Yeah, cause if you with me, yeah. You done did it for that power, in it for that power. Need it every minute, every second, every hour. In it for that power, get it for that power. I'm a cold leader, ain't no motherfucking coward. In it for that power, get it for that power. Need it every minute, every second, every hour. In it for that power, get it for that power. I'm a cold leader, ain't no motherfucking coward. In it for that power, get it for that power. I just want that power, in it for that power. Need it every minute, every second, every hour. Get it for that power, living for that power. I'm a cold leader, ain't no motherfucking coward. Get it for that power, 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 power.
You boy, you know what time it is, nigga. Better watch how you step in, yeah. But that was my nigga, yeah. I'm in it, yo. Got my nigga Ramon with me. But that was my niggas, it'll be an honor. You know what I'm saying? Under commanding general, yeah. That shit ain't gon' stop till we on top and we ballin', my nigga. We be fly as fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home, that's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown, I'm in these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my Hakim gon' let him have it. Hey, think you the shit, this truth the shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like, who is this? I'm rude with it. Ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talk this shit. Yeah, I know they can't stand us, but we UPK, Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm reppin'. And my niggas solid, number real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start steppin'. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them. I see them dapping and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapped in the gutter. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For why take your life or let you take mine? That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves while the white man live to get old. We in them graves, the shit got me feeling played. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complexion. Still fighting to get accepted. We hear the truth and reject it, but love is getting corrected. And all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation we erected. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Hey, hey. Hey, hey.
You said what?
I said we live, sir.
I thought I said one more song.
Oh, I thought you said after that one.
No, I said one more song. I would have sat in the middle.
I thought you said after that one we good.
No. I was like one more song. I would have sat over there. I'm over here in the corner, like, yeah, I'm gonna sit over here. Hey, you better get that box.
Which box?
The box that they taking all the oils out of.
They can even send me the money.
Fake love, real hate,
One West.
but we set apart, nigga.
They hate it when you up, but love it when you down. Love you when you dead, but hate you while you living. Only make a mention when it's beneficial. Oh, you can't keep it solid, I ain't fucking with you. Fuck a fake friend, show is over, close the curtain. Told you that they loved you, laughed at you when you was hurting. One thing about that UPK, this brotherhood for certain. Dress you up in all black, gird you up to put that work in. Same niggas that was on the block putting that work in. Abandon that lifestyle, cause now I know my purpose. Coming from a place where a black man life is worthless. 400 plus years, yeah, living out them curses. I blame the so-called leaders in the churches. Was supposed to save our soul, instead they led us to the hearses. Backstabbed and betrayed by the people you would die for. Your family ain't family, so-called friends switch sides on you. Cracker take a knee on your neck, whisper and die, boy. So I stay strapped with the Capri, that's the firearm. Gotta watch your back, you know them demons out here lurking. If I don't know shit, then I know one thing for certain, look. They hate it when you up, but love it when you down. Love you when you dead, but hate you while you living. Only make a mention when it's beneficial. You can't keep it solid, I ain't fucking with you. They hate you when you up, but love it when you down. Love you when you dead, but hate you while you living. Only make a mention when it's beneficial. You can't keep it solid, I ain't fucking
I
with
say
you.
fuck the fake love and disloyal behavior. Brotherhood is a weapon, but bitch niggas is contagious. Hating your elevation instead of hitting the pavement. Watching your every move and never give motivation. Situational friendships give way with adversity. And these days, just a little bit of your kindness a luxury. I'd rather you keep your distance than be a fuck nigga too close to me. Prefer to fuck with fear nigga than house nigga with notes on me. Get a shirt off my back for devoted niggas with loyalty. I notice the lack of devoted niggas that's trustworthy. If you ain't in no black, ranked up, I'd give two fucks for free. Death before dishonor is a must. It ain't no choice from me. I'm bred different. Was never one to die, just bullshit. I'm fed different. Fuck all the information out of pulpits. I'm led different. Been taught to follow a code. Israel law, statutes, commandments freely given, never sold, nigga. Chill.
They hate it when you up, but love it when you down. Love you when you dead, but hate you while you living. Only make a mention when it's beneficial. You can't keep it silent, I ain't fucking with you.
Westworld.
Right.
Everything is lawful. Westworld.
The pressure on. I remember bringing nothing home. Make it little just to make it known. Steady, ready, better watch your tone. When I was 5'7", I was breaking bone. 5'7", now I want the chrome. 9/11, I was in my zone. Lose the argument or lose your dome. Keep cool, ain't no running up. How damn, now I'm coming up. They coming to kiss me, you dumb or what? You drawing, you done enough. They told me don't rush it, just wait my time. Paying attention, I see the signs. Coming right to me like Amazon. No time for distractions, I'm on the grind. Little shorty, your ticket, she knows she fine. Got a couple of so never mind. They throwing the shade cause they know I shine. Reason I'm going in overtime. You stuck in your ways, you keep fantasizing. I just go get it, don't think about it. Don't make it an issue, it ain't a problem. Not too much talking, just organizing. One Westworld, no way around it. Heavy, so you know I'm grounded. Too sturdy, I'm well rounded. Tunnel vision, I don't see a challenge. Get a minute, I'm killing it. Case closed, I don't need a gavel. Know you hate it, don't even matter. New page, still the same
Some
chapter.
people might, but just never forget that I do not. Always have that fresh in your mind. That I feel absolutely nothing for your pain and your problem. Because I know that all of your pain and problems are a test to make you stronger.
I live in a world where we coincide. If you're not ready to stay inside, you drowning away, you gonna ride. You stick to the end, you get glorified.
Seeing if you're gonna step up into Westworld, you're gonna run
You stick
away.
to the end, you get glorified. Let's make it official, I'm one of them. One of the greatest, there's no exempt. It took me a minute to figure it out. I was struggling, they made a man. I shuffled the deck and I played my hand. Just give me a reason to put them on you. Didn't believe that I had me a vision. Should I believe that you niggas loyal? We giving up game, they fumbling plays. I'm tired of talking, I'm racked out. Before that we started, they tapped out. I jumped in my duffel and blacked out. What you witnessing is elevation. Glory road to my destination. The haters, it's a celebration. And I put that on my reputation. You in the fall, this a demonstration. Get sick and I know they hate it. One Westworld every season. Hot boy, this dedication. I'm giving game, I don't need favors. Go against it, you won't see the dangers. You ain't family, you a damn stranger. I'll beat your ass, I don't need a baby. I don't got time for excuses. I'm plotting on making the killer. I'm getting the feeling, they know that I'm coming, I'm running. Let's get to the business. I'm still playing my post. Taking the rim like diesel. Don't run with too many people. I don't feel none of us equal. None of us equal.
And there are some brothers and sisters that know that so much that they would never leave. They would never abandon you. Since you have to stay alive here, they'll stay alive with you.
I live in a world where we coincide. If you're not ready to stay inside, you drowning away, you gonna ride. You stick to the end, you get glorified. You stick to the end, you get glorified.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're one West.
They said free the Palestinians, then celebrate the death of native Indians. How these other races gon' take us serious? They don't. It's silly thinking you can fight oppression with a vote. I'm so woke, I got sleep deprivation. Belly of the beast giving birth to a nation. You know how I feel to have culture and they take it. It'll never be peace, tell them free the reservation. Till it's backwards, they don't know that they exist no more. Ever try reaching out for help and you just get ignored? Pick up vices like drugs, your child fill a void. They get a youth life sentence for a killing, he was just a boy. Niggas poor, what we living for? Life a gamble, it's like 10 or 4. Police hands around your neck, they just hit record. We in war, man, this ain't the norm. But you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how it feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know. Mama on the stage crying. She just lost her only son to gang violence. Pops level 4 yard talking through the vents. Have you ever tried to hug your loved ones through a fence? Have you ever been hated just because your skin? Have you ever worked all week and couldn't pay your rent? Life a trip, I'm trying to catch my balance. Every step feel like I'm walking backwards. Credit card, but gotta check the balance. I come from where it's rough, that's why my heart callous. They want you to fall weak, that's a war tactic. Look how we live, what's scary than that? What you know about crossing the Darien Gap? Risk your life to live in hell or bury your kids. Either way we gotta suffer and they just get rich. Life a bitch, why I waste time telling you that? Cause if you ain't a nigga like me, you don't know how it feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how it feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how it feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how it feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah. Man, these niggas talk hard like this, act like they up to switch whole time, man, they won't even diss. DNA checked, found out you make it look easy. Yo, I did my earnest through the furnace, deadlifting all my burdens, pay tithes on all my earnings. I hate fake Jews like Germans. Got a bad bitch that's fertile, keep her wetter than a squirtle. War scars and golden girdles. Get that shit poppin' like colonels, nigga. Cause I'm running with the generals. Out here in these streets, I be talking shit in general. But if the truth hurts, nigga, wear that bitch. Crib niggas out here and they mad I'm rich. I got 4 wives, nigga, better than a bitch. And they all wanna share that dick. I'ma probably get checked for that shit, but I just wear the crown and what comes with it. I go rip retarded, I go dumb with it. Man, this rap shit, I thought that you was done with it. Man, I just pop up and have fun with it. So who want it? If you want it, you could come get it. And if you stepping up, then you better come with it. Cause I've been about that action. God raised me a captain at the foot of the Baptist. And you know I get active, niggas know I get active. In my father's house, I'm trying to find me a mansion. Flip my pennies, don't mean expansion. My hymen kick them out if these niggas is lacking in sincerity and that true zeal and passion. Better checking in my city before I catch you slacking. Better run me that cover before I let you back. And it's the home of the truth, that's the end of the cap. And it's the end of the world, new beginning is happening.
Talk to me. Played the horn of Lord and served other gods. Remember the days of old, we the lost tribes. They don't believe the Bible, they say a white man wrote it, but still celebrate them holidays from white men, don't they? Like Christmas and Thanksgiving appetites. I don't even see my closest family half the time. Going out ain't an option, I won't compromise. I got integrity and more heart than Valentine. I retweeted a book they sell on Amazon, owned by the same folks that told them to apologize. Remember slaves couldn't read, wasn't allowed, so it's meaning when I tell you I'm black and I'm proud. Murdered us with the sword, that's how we learned religion. Community standards violate my First Amendment. Discontinue from my heritage under these bastards. Life a bitch, they make up lies and give you public lashes. I understand they confused by who the devil is. Why my people get so mad when I tell them this? Valley of dry bones, my niggas skeletons. It's hectic out there, hope you checking on your relatives. Brotherhood, that's where my weapon is. And I never let these crackers take it from me. Real talk, you probably never heard this all of your life. Be careful, cause that thing you love, it'll cost you your life. Long as we got each other, my nigga. Cause we build this shit on brotherhood. Long as we got each other, my nigga.
Yeah.
live now. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Let's clap it up for Houston, Texas, man. This is like my second home. I had made a post earlier today saying like this been like my second home. When I was talking to Malakwa and them, I remember when y'all had the garage with that Gobblewood crib, right? Yep, that's back in 2017, and now y'all got the school. So of course we're gonna take your questions. The topic I'm gonna try to go into today is that the Christian church does not worship God. What I mean by that is when we think about the Christian church, like they have their, like this is just a class. This is normal class for us. But our worship or high holy day of the Lord will be Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. That's when the actual Sabbath is. So the church will tell you that the Sabbath is actually on Sunday, which lets you know they don't worship the same God. I came up with this from Yachty, and also when I was doing an interview on Ugly Money TV, and they asked me about the Muslims and the Israelites, because people believe that our type of Israelites and the Muslims, we serve the same God. That's what they believe, which from an outsider, it may seem like that because they say the Muslims appear to be militant. We appear to be militant. We don't love the white man. They say they don't love the white man. They say that, but I don't know about that because like Farrakhan, I don't know what he is. Father Muhammad, they Allah, I don't know what he is. So when I broke it down to them simply by saying if it was the same God, it would have the same name. The name of the God of Israel is Yahweh. The name of their God is Allah. Even in the English, it's Jehovah. It's not even the same. If you go into their feast days, what they worship for what they call a holiday, Ramadan, that's not in the Bible. I would think that the God that you serve, if that God wanted the earth to obey him, it wouldn't be a set of feast days over here, a set of rules over here that would be different. Everybody would have the same rules and principles. So that's how I came up with it. But I do want to take your questions. So if y'all got any questions, I'll take the questions first. And if anybody has questions online, you got questions online already? Okay. Any questions in the room? All right. I'll take the questions online if you got them.
This brother Cal Kazaa out of Killeen, Texas, has a question about the Hebrews, the 7th chapter, verse 12.
Okay.
The scripture says, if somebody want to grab it, brothers, and grab the Hebrews 7 and 12. The scripture says, for the priesthood being changed, there is made of necessity a change also of the law.
Okay. And what's his question?
He said, Baba Kushah, sir, if I could, show me how to choke a Christian with their own stupidity on Hebrews 7 and 12.
Okay, but when he says choke a Christian on their own stupidity, you got to tell me what is the Christian saying on this verse? Because usually this verse is I'm assuming like this is saying a change of the law. The Christians would say there is no law. So I need to know when he says to cut a Christian, I want to know what he's pulling this verse to say about it. Does anybody else know what this verse is actually talking about? Because usually when I get into this argument, sometimes it has to deal with we saying the law is not changed, but this is saying a change to the law. So how would anybody actually battle this argument? Anybody know? Read the verse again.
Hebrews 7 and 12. For the priesthood being changed, there is made of necessity a change also of the law.
Okay, so who could on the back?
So like if I could, Cap, does this mean are they referring to the change where the Levites were the only priests and now you could be from any tribe and be a priest?
Right, that's the subject that this is talking about. Now, how do you know that? Like, how did you come to that conclusion?
I just use the context in the scriptures as priesthood being changed.
That's what it's talking about. Because according to the law, if you broke the law, according to the law, who would carry out the judgment? It would be the Levites. The Levites would be the one, like back then, the Judite couldn't do that. The Ephraimite couldn't do that. But now, under the order of Melchizedek, we're a nation of kings and priests, which is what we were supposed to be from the beginning. We was always supposed to be a kingdom of nation of kings and priests. I'll show you in the book of Exodus. Give me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. I believe it's Exodus 13 that it's in. I just want to make sure that this is the verse that it's in. Yeah, go to Exodus 19 and 6. And you can also get Revelations, I think it's 5 and 9. Give me 1 second. I'll grab that one too. But whoever has Exodus that I call for 19 and 6, if they could read that one first.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 6. And ye shall be unknown to me, a kingdom of priests.
A kingdom of what?
A kingdom of priests.
That's what we were supposed to be. We were supposed to be a kingdom of priests. Of course, the Levites joined themselves to the Lord when Moses came down from the mountain, and that's how we had the Levitical priesthood. But you can see the priesthood during Genesis. Like Hebrews, the 7th chapter is talking about Melchizedek, who we know Melchizedek appeared before Abraham, and Abraham paid him tithes. He's the first recorded priest that we have. And then somebody read Revelations 5 and 10 for me as well. Now, this is not saying that the law is changed, which is what I'm assuming he's saying. Did he ever respond, Davida? Okay, which I'm assuming that's what he means. Like the Christian would try to say, see, the law has changed, which goes right into the topic of the Christians will have you believe that God changed the law to where you don't have to follow no law. But whenever I say, okay, well, if you ain't following the law, then you can sleep with another man's woman, they say, no, you got to keep that law. So you got to make up your mind. When you get down to it, the law that they talking about is going to be about foods that they eat. Y'all gonna think it's funny, but you tell a Christian they can't eat pork. They're gonna tell you they was raised on pork. You tell them they can't eat that shrimp, that crab, that lobster. You tell them they can't celebrate Christmas. You start going into the things that God hates, and then they'll tell you, oh no, we can't, God got rid of that law. But if he got rid of the law, then you got to just deal with it. He got rid of the law. Who got Revelations 5 and 10 that I asked for?
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 10. And has made us unto our God kings and priests.
And made us what?
And has made us unto our God kings and priests.
And that's what we doing this work for. Like you doing this work for a crown. Now, wherever that crown gains you, that's up to the Lord. But we endure to the end to work for a crown. And so we would be a nation of kings and priests. So it won't be one tribe that is the priesthood. It will be the nation. So it's almost like an office within the tribe. So in the Judite, where the land of Judah would be at, you would have different tribes. And some of them Judites will have the office of a priest now, as opposed to the Levites being scattered amongst the tribes. Because that's what Levi was before Christ. Before Christ, there was Levites in the land of Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Naphtali, etc., and they would be the ones that would carry out the priestly duties. You said there was another question in there? Come.
We also have a question from Charles Burney. He said, are tattoos unlawful?
Yes. Tattoos are unlawful. I think that's Leviticus, is it 19 or 18? With the markings of the flesh or cuttings of the flesh, I believe. That's a very Hamite custom. That's how it started. I ever seen, what's that cat? Seal. You ever see Seal? The artist Seal, where he got all the markings and stuff. That's a very Hamite custom. Now, of course, over here in America is a very Edomite custom. Go to Leviticus 19. But now most people say we all got tattoos. I know unfortunately, I got one right before I came into the truth. I was mad as hell. If I'd have waited like 2 more months, I would have had it clean. So we're not talking about what you did before you got the knowledge of it. But go to Leviticus 19 and 28. Whoever has it can read it.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 28. Ye shall make any cuttings of your flesh for the dead, or
now what that part is talk about, the cuttings of the flesh of the dead. That's why I said it's very Hamitish. Like when you read the top, read before you go to Leviticus 19, read Leviticus 18 and 3. That's the chapter right before 19.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 3. After doing of the land of Egypt, where ye dwell shall you not do. And after doing of the land of the Canaanites, whether I brought you shall ye not do. Neither shall you walk in the ordinance.
Right, because the land that we came from, which is Egypt, had a lot of nasty practices that they did. You know, we know about the incest, we know about the homosexuality, the animal gods that they would worship. You know, you had to masturbate in front of the people and worship. There's a lot of nastiness that them Egyptians used to do. And now they're going into the land of Canaan, another set of Africans with a lot of nasty stuff that they do. Think about America. Think about America today. America today, they got our children having, I think Dwayne Wade just came out with something with his son where they're making a community safe for kids. That's Egypt, that's Canaan. You know what I'm saying? Where they're creating an environment where these kids can go when science done already showed, they done already did studies that kids don't know how to identify what they are at any age. A child just wake up and say, I'm a car. You're not going to believe it. Or he says, I'm a girl. They tell you that they don't know how to make that up. That's Egypt, if you can understand. The whoredom that takes place, the worship that you can do, the twerking, everything that they have us doing. When we come out of America, this scripture would say, after the doings of America, ye shall not do. The same way it say, after the doings of Egypt, ye shall not do. So go back to Leviticus 19, where we was talking about the tattoos. 28. So the first thing it says, ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead. Soon as somebody dies, they want to put the markings and stuff like that on their body for the dead. For what? You're not living from, number one, they're not here anymore. Right. The best thing that you could do is to learn from them and live for them. A lot of times you think you want to live with them being gone, but you want to let them know how you're living for them, which is the greatest thing that you can do. So we don't put cuttings in our flesh. The cuttings, you scar your body up, mark your body. Even in fraternities, they be stamping the hell out of you, marking you like a cattle. You can't do none of that. Yeah.
If I may, sir, the Wakanda movie, when the guy had all the marks on him.
Right. Now that was for people he killed.
Right.
So he marking his body up for people he killed. That's not our custom. In the back.
So it's unlawful to get tattoos, but is it unlawful to get them removed?
I mean, you could get it removed if you want, but you don't have to. Whatever you did before you came into the truth, it's not going to change. You getting it removed is cool. You may not want, some of us, y'all might have some strange ass tattoos on you. I don't know, what your snakes. I don't know what you put, eagles or something. Now, the white man is the eagle. You don't want the eagle or something. I don't know. But if you get it removed, it's not going to change the fact that you're forgiven for that because you did it thinking that you could do it. You understand? Read the rest of the verse.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in the flesh for the dead, nor put any markings upon you. I am the Lord.
When it says you shall not put any, nor print any markings, somebody might say, well, I ain't doing this for my father. I'm doing this because I think I'm a lion, so I'm putting a lion. It says you ain't supposed to print any markings on you. So we don't do that. We don't do those customs at all, to answer the question. Any other questions online, Dawada? Any questions in the room? If anybody ever at any point have a question in the room, just raise your hand and then I'll take the question. But if we got questions online, I'll take the questions online.
The next question is a brother that says, knowledge seeker. It says, Shalom, I have a question. How do you know whether what you're going through is a test or a punishment?
Hey, somebody get Ecclesiasticus, the 2nd chapter. Do you attack it differently if it's a punishment or if it's a test? Anybody know? Who said no? Who said you said no? Yeah, you don't like. I don't know how to look at it as if it's a punishment or if it's. I'm saying that wrong. I do know how to look at it that way, but I don't attack it differently, whether it's a punishment or a test. Who has Ecclesiasticus 2:1? Read that first.
Con, sir. It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, verse 1, and it reads, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation."
Now, what does that mean? It's self-explanatory, right? Most people think like the Christian church, when they have the altar call and they bring y'all up there and they ask you if you love Jesus and all that, and you say that, you think that's it. You walk outside, nothing is supposed to happen to you at all. Everything is great because you believe Jesus is your Lord and Savior. And then you start getting hit with problems, and then you're wondering why. And then the pastor's usually going to say you're either not coming to church enough or you ain't paying tithes enough. But the more you come to church and pay your tithes, you'll do that. Whereas the truth of the matter, when you come to serve the Lord, you're supposed to prepare for temptation. Who knows why you're supposed to prepare for temptation? Who knows why? In the back, brother.
It's lucky, sir, because Satan's going to test you and make sure you're worthy of the Most High.
That's true, but what else? What's the other reason to prepare your soul for temptation? Remember, you coming to serve the Lord, and the first thing it says, prepare your soul for temptation. What does it mean to serve the Lord? You gonna say?
Yeah, sir. I was thinking that it's because you're going to be putting away your old ways. And those same old ways are going to be what you're going to have to battle, not going back to.
So who will you be fighting? You'll be fighting yourself. Like to serve the Lord means to obey God. Like the scriptures say, hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God, keep the commandments. So now you was not serving the Lord before we read this. So it says, when you come to serve the Lord, like this ain't an approaching scripture. This ain't a scripture that is for everybody because it's damn near a warning. All right, you come to serve the Lord. This was like you go see your father. Your father gonna say this. Like everybody, when you had to go see your father and it was judgment time, you did not want to go see your father. That's what this is. So when it says, when you come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation, because you're going to have two battles. You're going to have one side, you want to serve the Lord and obey the commandments, but the other side love to sin. The other side love getting high. The other side love them whores. The other side love to do everything that made your flesh feel good, even if it hurt. That's what your soul desired. And so that's why it says, prepare thy soul for temptation. Keep going.
Con, sir. Verse 2. Set thine heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble.
And do not what?
Make not haste in time of trouble.
Now, why are you going to have trouble? It says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure. Let's deal with that first. What does the constantly endure mean? Now, the first verse says, prepare your soul for temptation. Second verse says, constantly endure. What does that part mean?
So, like, you're going to always have that battle within yourself.
You're going to have what battle?
Being the old man you used to be.
Right. And so you're going to have to constantly endure that. Whatever you desire the most is what's going to hit you first. If women was your desire, you're going to think because you became an Israelite, all these women liked you. They don't like you. And you got to look at the type of women that's all of a sudden liking you. If it's the same type of woman that liked you, and now because you say you're an Israelite and they start saying to you, yeah, I've always thought Jesus was black. I felt that. And you think that's you just attracting the type of woman. You know, the scriptures say a wicked woman is given to a wicked man for a portion. So even when you think this woman is great for you, you can pick the wrong type of woman, even though you think you're the greatest Israelite on the planet. Because you can get a wicked woman. So that's why it says constantly endure. So this is not something, because remember, his question was if you're doing something wrong or if it's a test. Your life is a test. That's your life every day. When you wake up, every time you go outside, every decision that you make, examine it as a test. Don't examine it as, I'm just going to do this. It ain't going to mean nothing. Examine if what I do is on the right hand or the left hand. And when Paul said like all things are not unlawful, right? So just because something is not unlawful does not mean it's expedient. So even though it is lawful to do, doesn't mean that you have to do it just because it's lawful. You have to count the cost of every single thing. That's what constantly endure means. Because the minute bad stuff happens to you, the first thing you're going to think is, it's because I'm serving the Lord. As if bad stuff wasn't happening to you when you wasn't serving the Lord. Half of us is looking for God because of all the bad stuff happening to us. Because we think that's the answer. And you think that when you go to serve God, bad stuff is supposed to stop. And that's not life. Life doesn't mean that bad stuff stops happening to you. That's what the church teaches you. Real life teaches you that bad stuff can happen to you or good stuff can happen to you. You're still supposed to obey the Lord, regardless. You had your hand up in the back.
What you're saying is heavy. As soon as I tell brothers I'm an Israelite, the first thing they think of is like, oh, you can have multiple wives. I'm like, yes, it's lawful. You
y'all brothers,
but it's not wise for you to have multiple wives either.
Yeah, a lot of y'all should not have a wife, period, let alone like multiple. I'll just tell you the truth. I tell a lot of brothers, they come to me, yeah, this sister, and I'll tell them, you should not have more than one wife. You shouldn't have one wife. Because that's not, the truth is not about getting women. It's not. That's how you know, when you think the truth is about getting women or multiple wives, that's how you know you still a nigga in the world. That's what you think the truth is about. The truth is about waking up blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's what the truth is about. The truth is about obeying God. When you think about the prophets, Christ said, and Paul, a lot of them didn't even have no wives. Think about that. They didn't even have no wives. So that's not what the truth is about. And so the minute a brother come to me talking about wives, like he's marked in my head. Like I'm just going to watch him and then just see how long he lasts, if he gets up off of that. And then some of them will come back. Yeah, I thought this was about that, but that's not what it's about. Because then when you get that wife and then I got to counsel you on all the problems you had getting that wife, then you find out it wasn't good to get the wife. Keep reading.
Come on, sir. Verse 3.
No, after constantly endure.
Salakia. Constantly endure and make not haste in time of trouble.
And you can't run because it gets hard. And what is getting hard is that weed that you can't smoke no more. And you never realize you're an addict until you got to stop something, no matter what it is. Like I mentioned weed, it could be weed, it could be cigarettes, it could be prostitutes, it could be whores, it could be the video games y'all love when you can't play Call of Duty or something. Let you be told you can't play Call of Duty. Y'all with the video games blow my mind sometimes, but anything that you have to give up when you trying to stop, even if you go on a diet, like take it off like a diet. Let's say you decide I ain't gonna eat no, I'll use myself. When I decide I'm not gonna eat cookies, everybody want to bring chocolate chip cookies in front of me. Even that, right? But now I can eat them though. But my point is, whatever you're trying to quit is what usually pops up in your face. That's why I use, like, if I go on a diet, cookies pop up. Everybody want to, where Rom at? Rom, as soon as he come in here, Rom bring up chocolate chip cookies to me, right? Now I tried to come down here and be on a diet. Now I can't be on a diet because Rom gonna give me cookies. But that's what it means when it says, make not haste in the time of trouble. When you have that desire to smoke weed or the desire for whores, more opportunities to sleep with whores are going to happen. More opportunities to get high are going to happen because you're trying to stop. It's just going to fall out the sky. You're going to have to remove yourself from certain environments. When I came into the truth, I couldn't go to my barbershop no more because that's where you can get high at the barbershop. You can get a haircut in a dime sack or a 20 sack. I don't know what y'all call them now, but that's what they call them back then. And smoke it right there. After you get the shape up and the haircut and all that, you can smoke it right there and watch the boxing matches and TV and everything in the barbershop. And I tried to go in that barbershop twice after I came into the truth. And then I saw like how they looked high. And then when I realized that's how I looked high, like you be thinking you fly, like something about drugs make you think you fly even when you high. And I saw how they looked, And I had to leave though because I couldn't be around that environment because I knew I would be pulled right back in if I stayed there. That's what the constantly, make not haste in the time of trouble. Read verse 4.
Come, sir. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, verse 4, and it reads, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully.
Whatsoever what?
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully.
Because when you building something, right, you could take like a piece of wood, you could take a rock, you could take anything that you're building. You could take your business. When you building something, that rock, you have to break into that rock to mold it up, to shape it up. If you take a garment, it starts off as just a sheet of linen, and you got to sew it, you got to cut it, you got to do all of those things. So when it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, because when you come into the truth and you're going through trials and tribulations, instead of being like a Debbie Down is the word I'm thinking of, but that's not the word I want to use. But instead of being somebody that's like, woe is me, like you crying because now you're going through this trial, you should take it cheerfully because of who you're doing it for. Because at one time you was doing it for yourself. It's very easy to serve yourself because as you serving yourself, when you let yourself down, what do? Anybody punish themselves for letting themselves down? You punish yourself? Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So like, if you say, I'm not going to do something, and you make this vow to yourself, because we all talk to ourselves. We all say, man, I ain't doing that no more. You say it to yourself. Now, when you break your own promise to yourself, do you punish yourself? Nobody punishes themselves. But when you serve the Lord, you know that a punishment is coming when you break that. When you tell the Lord, I'm doing this for you, you know that a punishment is directly coming because of it. So now imagine enduring for the Lord and taking it cheerfully because you know there's a reward coming for it. Now it's different because of the God that you serve. So that's way different. So it says, take that cheerfully, keep going.
And be patient when thou art changed to a lower state.
Now that's opposite of the church. The opposite of the church is you're supposed to put on like gold when you come and serve Jesus. You go and give your life to Jesus, your whole life is supposed to automatically change for the better. But what we're reading is that be patient when you change to a low state, because the old man has to get broke down. Like you have to be broken all the way down so that now you can be built back up to what you are supposed to be. In Luke the 5th chapter, Christ said, no man put new wine into old bottles, because the old is going to mess up the new. In order to see what it is, you got to pour new wine into old bottles. So that's the same thing with us. Literally, like when you come and serve the Lord at 28, 18, 35, 45, 55, or whatever you was before that was not the Lord. None of it. Whatever understanding or thought process you thought you had of the Bible, and everybody's spiritual, right? Ain't no nigga on the planet I know I met that ain't spiritual. Even I don't serve God, but I'm spiritual. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, whatever that was has to die. It got to get broke. That's what the lowest state means. The lowest state is you think you up here, you're brought down here. And then now you're beginning to be built back up. Now what you do building yourself back up under the laws of God is what actually makes you. You actually find out your gifts, what you're good at, what you're not good at, what you could do, what you can't do, when you actually get brought low and then built back up. Read the next verse.
Verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable.
Wait, before you read the rest of that, when it's talk about gold is tried in the fire, let's say you dig in the dirt and you find a nugget of gold. That whole nugget is not gold. You have to actually put that in the fire, and then it melts, and then all the impurities are burning off of that gold. And then whatever it remains of that gold is what gold is. So that nugget could be this big, but then when you burn it all off, it could be like this because it's burning off. That's why the scriptures say, I'll make a man more precious than fine gold. Well, in order to get to that gold, we got to burn you. Precept. Who knows a precept when they say we got to burn? Double down.
I was thinking about the one when he said that it's going to be, they're going to be using different materials like hash, stubble, copper, and
No, I wasn't thinking. Who was going to be tried in the fire? But when it says when I said it's going to burn it off as fire, and that's what we are. What I was thinking of when John said, "I indeed baptize with water, but he that cometh after me is mighty in me; he shall baptize you with fire." Because now it's the words that cleanse you; it's the words that purify you. What purifies us today is everything that's written in these scriptures. So it's going to burn off. So think about what we was reading about. We was reading about tattoos. So you come in thinking that you can get tattoos. Now that gets burned off of you. You come in here thinking you can eat whatever you want. That gets burned off of you. You can worship what you want. All of those things is tearing you down. Some of it can be depressing if you loved it. Depending on what you love the most, it can be depressing. That's why I was talking about addiction. Addiction with weed. I don't know what y'all do. Y'all young now. I got to talk about syrup. I can't say like crack. Like lean, I can't even say crack no more. I'm old. So that lean and all that stuff, when you think that you're not an addict until you got to get off of it. And then you can't function normally because everything you did, take cigarettes. You woke up, smoke a cigarette. You ate, smoke a cigarette. Had sex, smoke a cigarette. They got, at your job, they got breaks for your addiction. Like you can't, like, I remember I went to my slave and they on smoke break. I just went outside. I just go outside. I don't smoke, but I would just go outside because I felt offended. I said, okay, how y'all got a smoke break for their addiction, but I just can't take a break. So I would just take random 10 or 15 minute breaks, but that's how addictive cigarettes are. And you be thinking you can quit until you got to stop doing it because you done got your body addicted to that nicotine. You done got your body addicted to that marijuana. You done got your body addicted to whatever opioids you're putting into your body when it wasn't fit to be in your body. And that's what you become addicted to. And now when you burn that off and become a new man, now read after gold is tried.
An acceptable men in the furnace of affliction.
In the furnace of adversity, I believe is
like it. In the furnace of adversity.
Now, in the furnace of adversity is how every man and woman is made after you serve the Lord. Because are you going to really serve the Lord and do what he say? Or are you just somebody that had tough times for a minute and then you decided to say, I'm going to come to class for a little bit, I'm going to serve God for a little bit. And then when you get an inkling of sunshine, you decide to leave. The acceptable men in the furnace of adversity is how you get tried. So the answer is question. You'll know if it's a test or if it's a punishment by whether you kept the law or not. But you can go through this every day if the Lord decide. Job went through that. Right? Job went through that and endured it until the end. He wondered the whole time. He felt like he shouldn't do it, but he never served another God, never did none of that, and got greater things after he endured that. So just because you serve the Most High does not mean you don't go through anything. The only thing that it means is that you'll survive it, that you'll be made better for it. All right, I'll take the next question. Again, as always, if we got questions in the class, just raise your hand. But I'll take the questions online if you got them.
Got a question online from Gadite Boy 144. Says, can I get a breakdown of First Maccabees 3 and 48?
His name's on here be off the chain. Gadite Boy. This other cat name was Little Lawbreaker. He a grown man. Little Lawbreaker, man.
He said, can I get a breakdown of First Maccabees 3 and 48?
Let's read it.
And does that mean that the Bible that our forefathers had images in it?
Okay. We could read it first. That's an easy answer. Mm-hmm. Who has it? Whoever has it can read it.
First Maccabees. Right. This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 48, and it reads, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
So now his question is, did we have images back then?
Yeah, does that mean that the Bible that our forefathers had images in it.
Read the verse above that.
That's
That's First Maccabees 3 and 48, right? Mm-hmm.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 47, and it reads, Then they fasted that day and put on sackcloth and cast ashes upon their head and rent their clothes. Verse 48, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness
Yes,
of their
that is
images.
saying, and his question is, did they have images in our records? Yeah, they had images. Any other questions online?
Okay. I got another brother, King Dog, that said, can you explain Numbers 15?
What's his name?
King Dog.
Okay. Good, brother. Yeah.
That's it.
Good.
Can you explain Numbers 15 and 38 to 40 for me, please?
Okay. God, that's about the fringes. Good.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 15, verse 38. And it reads, Speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the border of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringes of the borders of a ribbon of blue.
So this is very simple. Like when it's talking about a garment, it's not talking about what you wear like to work or what you wear like everyday clothing. It's specifically talking about a garment or formal attire, like what we would wear when we go to camp. And when you put that on, it's not talking about like putting it at the bottom of the t-shirt, which I know a lot of brothers do, but that's not even the border of a garment. The border is where the two ends meet. So like on the sides or on the side of your pants, that's where, or at the bottom of the garment on the side, that's what that means. And then you just put a fringe on it. So when you have your formal attire, which is what the garment is, you wear that as a reminder of the law. Hope that answered this question. I'll take the next one. Yeah, I know that's why we don't do the whole t-shirt thing. I know a lot of brothers put fringes on their t-shirts. We do not wear that. That is not an Israelite custom. That is just something that they decide to do on their own. Next question. Good. In the room. Oh, you got a question? Go ahead, brother.
Could I get a breakdown on Psalm chapter 91 and verse 5?
You said Psalms 91 and 5. You got it in front of you?
Come on, guys, sir.
Okay, read it.
This is the book of Psalm chapter 91 and verse 5. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that fleeth by day.
Read a couple of verses above, maybe 2 verses up.
Come on, guys, sir. Verse 3.
Start at verse 2.
Come on, verse 2. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust.
What that mean?
Like in the Most High you will trust. Like he's the one who will protect you if you're doing what he says.
Right, so he's your refuge. What is a refuge?
A safe place.
Safe place, right? So the Most High is your safe place. A fortress is what?
Like a safe.
It's protection. Like if you got a fortress, the fortress is to protect you from whatever enemy is out there, right? So the Most High is the refuge and the fortress. In him you will trust. Keep going.
Come on. Verse 3. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisium pestilence.
Keep going.
Okay. Verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust.
Now, with the feathers and the wings is like protect, like a covering, right? Keep going.
His trust shall thou be.
His truth.
It's like it. His truth shall be thy shield and bunker.
His truth or his word shall be the shield and buckler. The shield is what you protect yourself with, right?
Okay.
Read on.
Okay. Verse 5. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that fleeth by day.
So now what does that mean?
You shouldn't be afraid because the Lord is going to protect you.
Yeah, you shouldn't be afraid of what is a terror by night. Sometimes you might get, you want to try to break it down?
Come go for like the things that go down at night. Like
the things that go what?
Down at night.
Yeah, so the things at night, and we get afraid of anything at night. The night is a metaphor because at nighttime is when, it's synonymous with, if you want to say darkness or like with evil. So you won't be afraid of the terror at night, right? And then it says, nor the arrow that flieth by day. So whether you have issues or enemies in the nighttime or the daytime, you won't be afraid because of the God that you serve. That's what let's break it down. All right. No sweat.
It seems like the last brother with the fringes thing, he had another question he asked. He said, okay, I understand that part, but the generation part does the part. I want to understand better. So I think
he want to understand the generation part. Maybe if you don't understand it, can you tell him to word it a little better?
Yes, King Dog, if you can reword that.
When it says throughout their generations,
I believe so, because he's saying, but the generation part, that's the part I want to understand.
Yeah, when it says throughout their generation, who knows what that means when it says they're gonna wear that border garment throughout their generations? Yeah. Yeah, throughout their generations, meaning my son, his son, his son, his son, his son, throughout generations, we would wear that. Just like everything gets passed down from generation, the feast day get passed down to generation. And I think it's in the book of Judges, we're supposed to teach that to our children for generations to generations. So that's what that means, throughout their generations. It doesn't mean it stops after I send it to my son. I think maybe that's how he thinks. But it don't mean that. It means through generation to generation that keeps going. It does not stop. That's what that means. All right.
Shalom Adawan.
Hey, Shalom.
If I could, in Judges 14:8, the honey or the beehive in the lion carcass, what would that symbolize, or what can you get from that story?
Can you read it?
This the book of Judges chapter 14. I'm gonna start at verse 6. And the spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he rent him as he would have rent a kid. And he had nothing in his hands, but he told his father or his mother what he had done. And he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. And the time, so it's like after a time he returned to take her, and
so now you see he kills the rent a kid, right? As if he had nothing in his hand, but he didn't tell his mother and father.
Right.
And then he goes down and talks with this woman, and she pleased him well, right? Keep going.
Verse 8. And after a time he returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. And behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. And he took thereof in his hands and went on eating, and came to his father and his mother and gave them, and they did eat. But he told them not that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of a lion.
Okay.
Now I understand bees, they make a house everywhere. But like, what is they saying, or what is he trying to? What's it indicative of, or is it anything or nothing?
No, it's just saying the lion had, like you say, the bees make a nest anywhere,
right?
And so they just made the nest in the lion. There's nothing else to it.
Okay, so why would you say I didn't tell my mom and my father?
Because they probably wouldn't want to eat them bees, that honey coming out of the lion's dead carcass.
Wouldn't that be unlawful? Okay. All right, come on.
We is talking about Samson. So go ahead. I'll take the next question.
We got a question. Officer Shapat has a question. He says, Shalom, Lord Christ, sir. Is women wearing makeup a demon? If so, why? If no, why?
Damn.
If it is true, then why? If it's not true, then why?
Wait, you might have to read that. I laughed so much in the beginning. You might have to say that one. He said, I came to start some trouble or so. Go ahead, read that again.
Is women wearing makeup a demon? If so, why? If no, why?
Okay. All right, so before you read it, see, he said some stuff after that, right? Okay, so let's just deal with the first part. Is women wearing makeup a demon? No, that's not a demon. Okay, who knows why it's not a demon? Right, because there's no law against it. No, so now, but why would he ask the question? Who knows why he would ask that question? Y'all got a TV in here?
Yeah, right there.
If y'all could pull up there, if you could find
I think
the sorcery that women can do with the makeup. Because there's some sorcery. I say, listen, I see. Yeah, I said, there you go, catfishing. There you go. Let's get the new word. Because there's some catfishing going on with this makeup. That I'm assuming that's why Shapat asked the question. So at the surface level, it's not a demon to wear makeup because it's just natural. You know, women want to put lipstick on or blush and stuff like that. Oh, let me see that one. This ain't even that bad though. This ain't as bad. But this what you talk about not being nice.
I got one.
I
got one. I'm about to show you the sorcery.
Yeah, I want to see like this picture here. This ain't really that bad. I've seen way worse. Like y'all being real kind. But y'all could pull up some real ones on there. Yeah, show that to some of them. That's a nice one right there. That's a nice one. Yeah, see that ain't bad because she don't really look that bad. But I seen some. They be full bald headed. There's some real sorcery out there, man. Y'all be talking about y'all want a real man. And when y'all get the picture, they say, yeah. Y'all ever seen I'm going to get you sucker now? I know I dated myself saying that. That woman had a fake hair, arms, she had a fake leg, she had a fake everything. All right? But when y'all can get some of them. So now, it's not a demon in the sense that you can't do it, but it's a borderline because of what you can do with makeup. What you can do with makeup is what does make it a demon, because when you're seducing or tricking somebody, he's falling in love with the image you're showing him. Like he would not date you if you showed your real self. That's not to say that you're unattractive, because unattractive is subjective. But if you present yourself like even that picture that Knox showed, if somebody fell in love with that picture and then you show up, it might not go well for you when they see you. That's why they come up with the term catfish. Then when you get beat up, and I'm not justifying getting beat up, but you can anger a lot of men when they show it like that. Here's the latter part read the last part of the question. Mm-hmm.
Last part of the question says,
oh, they said I just posted one of Jess Hilarious on IG.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, see if you can find that one, because that thing, that look real rough. You get the picture?
You got it. I plugged it up.
Now, the latter part of his question was, and how should men of the Lord address it when approached with this argument? So that'd be my question I ask y'all. So how should y'all answer a question about makeup on a woman? Nobody want to take a crack at that? Man, what's that right there? That's a man, right? That's a woman?
I believe so, sir.
And she gonna turn into something else?
Hold on.
Y'all couldn't have did a better job.
I think because they had a picture on the beginning. Hold on, let me go back.
No.
This is the picture that they had on the thing, like right there, like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you might want to search a little different.
This one.
Nah, y'all being real nice in Houston.
Yeah,
y'all
that's
being.
what I'm saying. Like
it's some rough ones, right? Sisters, ain't some worse ones. I've seen some horrible ones, right?
Like, look at this one. Like, look at that. That's what I'm saying.
Blow that up. Okay, make the screen bigger. Yeah, enlarge the screen at the top. Yeah, there you go. So like that. You ain't have to don't click the picture yet. So you talk about like that.
Right.
Now, first of all, y'all, whoever dating her, now you see, we just talked about them tattoos. Lord be with y'all. I couldn't look at that all day. I'm sorry. So now that is sorcery right there. I don't want you to play it probably plays automatically. So like that would be sorcery. So now Shapat's question is, how would you answer makeup? Like how would you, prophets of the Lord, answer about makeup? That's the question. Anybody want to take a crack at it? Nobody? Yeah, no, not answer to the Lord. How would you profit? The question is, how should men of the Lord address it when approached with this argument? So the argument is about makeup. So how should you approach the argument? Not?
If I could, sir, women want to look pretty. Women want to look attractive and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I think it's a cross between when you don't love yourself, or you lying to yourself, or you lying to other people about who you are. Right. You know what I mean? So if you the person on the left, that's who the Lord made you. Lord be with you. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I wouldn't want to wake up or go home with With number
But
two,
the first
think of
part
number
that you
one.
said, say what you just said. The first part that you said. You remember?
Kind of the Lord made you who you
Not
are.
that part.
Women want to be attractive and beautiful.
Right. And keep going.
That's really the spirit.
No, you said something after that. Right. You're not only that you're lying to yourself, it's your low self-esteem.
Right.
Like you got to just face who you are. Like you can't, like when you having this argument, remember the question he's asking is how should men of the Lord address it when approached with this argument? So makeup is not unlawful.
Right.
But for her, what she's doing with it, for her, it would be unlawful.
Right.
I would actually say it's unlawful for her to use makeup because she has self-esteem issues. Somebody told her that she was ugly. Somebody told her that she needs to look this way. And this is the definition of pretty.
Right.
Who taught her that that's the definition of pretty?
Esau.
Who gonna blow my mind? Who taught her that that's the definition of pretty?
Would it be her mother or Esau?
Her mother, but then who taught her mother that that was the definition of pretty?
LGBT member.
That's true. Though. They play a part with what pretty is, but who else taught her that's what pretty is? That was done.
Oh, TV.
Other women,
but men ain't teach her that's what pretty is either. Who's she dressing up for? Who's she dressing up for? I didn't hear you.
said them
boy.
Them niggas.
I couldn't make out the word that. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's what he said. I couldn't make out the word he said. You know, men play a part into what women think beauty is. If men think white women are pretty, what color are black women gonna make their hair?
Blonde.
That's the color of hair, right? If men think all that makeup and all that stuff, like we control what women think is pretty too, because women are trying to be attractive to men also. So that gets defined as well. So it's our job when Knox said when he teaches that woman about her self-esteem, that's where you got to start. It's not if you just go in and attack makeup, you're not going to attack the problem. The problem is someone taught her that she was ugly, and you got to tell her that. Like you got to tell, if you're in a room full of women and the argument is about makeup, you got to ask them who taught them that they was ugly without makeup, and then make them answer that question. Ask them if they had their fathers in their life, because that's probably what they did not have. And then so they don't. If a man that is just trying to have sex with them is going to tell them anything, a father is not trying to have sex with you, so he's going to tell you the truth and raise you. You want to say something else? Okay. No, you got it.
The story in Proverbs chapter 7, when the woman, when the old head was looking out the window and he saw the young bull walking through the city, and he said the prostitute was there. She was like, yeah, the good man is gone. He's on a long trip. He took a big bag with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, she was like, the bed is made. It got all these ointments and herbs and on and whatever. I kind of feel like that's her. She's trapping. You know what I'm saying? Then at the end of all of it, it said, don't follow her. Don't go with her. Don't
because
be
the end
with her.
thereof is death.
Right. Come on.
Right. No, that's a good point. But if you're in that room with a bunch of women and about makeup, you have to go to their actual psyche. Every time you're teaching, if you're a prophet of the Lord, and every time you're teaching, there's always an opportunity to actually teach. So if you just go in there and say women shouldn't wear makeup because you're catfishing, even though that's true, that is not going to address the real problem. What the real problem is going to be is that they lack the self-esteem because somebody taught them that they was ugly. You was going to say something, sis?
I was going to say, I like to wear makeup, not because I have to, because I want to sometimes.
Right.
My problem is that now today, men can wear makeup and look like women. That's a problem for me. Chicken out brothers out here, like they out here looking like real women. I be confused my damn self. So like that's the demon.
Now that's a demon. But now and then that's twofold. Like two things that men encourage and women encourage. The makeup is almost like a toss-up. And here's what I mean when I say toss-up. The makeup, especially with those of the community, women help that because women encourage the community. Like that's the part that women have to face as well. A lot of women accept those of the community, not realizing the play. and then when I said two things, that twerking, that also encouraged. That's where the men come into play. Like men help that community, and y'all don't even realize it, because when y'all make it about a woman twerking, right? And so when those of the community get those BBLs and twerking, that's why you confused too, because you encourage that as well. So, but you're right. So women can wear makeup. The danger in it now is that we've allowed and embraced the community, so now they wear the makeup, like you said too. So that catfishing is also men dressing like, because at first when I saw that, the first thing I said, is that a man? I couldn't tell. So thou sayest that's a woman, like you. Right, and they're not women, and so that's where it becomes demonic, and that's when the sorcery comes in to it.
If I could, a lot of times that makeup is used like the Pharisees. They clean the outside of the cup, but the inside of the cup is unclean.
Hell yeah!
Like they look good on the outside, but you know they use it to be beautiful when they covering up the real damage, which is they.
Yeah, you got to FaceTime at 8 a.m. nowadays.
You got to go to dates in the pool.
Straight to the pool. If they don't want to get in the pool, Lord be with them. All right, so I hope I answered your prior question. I'll take the next question.
All right, come on.
Any questions in the room?
Salaki, so I didn't get a chance when we were speaking on Leviticus about the tattoos. But does skin bleaching, does that fall right up on that
Yeah, skin bleaching would fall under that too.
Okay.
Yeah, skin bleaching would fall under that too. All right.
Salaki, if I could, one more question, sir.
I gotta ask all the questions you want. That's what I came here for, to teach class.
All right, if I could, I know you're familiar with the Darien Gap and
who?
The Darien Gap. Okay, it's
The
like
who?
brothers that's from South America.
What's the word you said?
Darien.
Darien Gap. Like GAP?
Yes, in Panama, it's
what
like
is that?
60 miles of like just uncharted land.
Oh, okay,
And they crossed through that. You know what I'm saying? One woman said she got molested, she got bothered about 4 times on her way through. They thought she had something in her box. You know what I mean? But you know, people or Hispanics cross through that border. They cross through to America to get, cross through all these countries to get to America. I just wanted to know, would you consider what would that be called today? Just trying to escape poverty and escape oppression down in South America and Central America.
You said, what would I call that today?
I was just thinking, but if you so they trying to escape poverty and oppression down in South America and Mexico. Could you compare that to the Underground Railroad?
I don't know if you talk about the concept, because if they make it through there, then they're in a better condition.
Right, but you know when Underground Railroad, you left down south or you went up north, and it's no better up north. You know what I'm saying? You like, damn,
But they think it though.
right? And
Yeah,
they think
you
when they
can.
get to America, it's gonna be better.
Yeah, you do think it's well. You tell it. I ain't never been to South, but when I hear the horror stories of it, they gotta think America is better because of it's so bad here.
Right.
It's just like we think it's better somewhere else, and like what they're going through in South America is no different than that child that grows up without a mother or father, and they think it's better somewhere else. If I can just get out of this neighborhood, so I would say it's the same, and it's just that because of the curses or punishments that we're under, it is exactly the same.
So Hispanics and Judites technically go through the same.
There is no difference of pain that we go through. The only difference is the location.
Right.
There ain't no difference at all. All right. That's right. I'll take the next question. Any questions in the room? All right. I'll take the next question online.
Nazum says, Salakia, sir, may I have a general breakdown of Romans 8 and 18, Baba Kwasha? Romans chapter 8, verse 18.
And he just want a general breakdown of it?
Count, sir, general breakdown.
I feel like somebody asked this question. Go ahead.
This is the book of Romans chapter 8, verse 18, and it reads, For I reckon that the suffering of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
So what does that mean? It says, I reckon that the sufferings of the present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Who knows what that means? That's pretty easy. Got it?
Times is hard right now, but one day we won't even remember it. We won't even remember the pain we're going through now because of the glory we're gonna get in the future.
And that's the point. Like that, the point, this goes right back to when we was reading Ecclesiasticus, like endure as gold is tried in the fire. So it's saying, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time, which lets you know, as he's writing this letter to those Israelites in Rome, whatever sufferings they were going through in that present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us, which is self-explanatory. Like what you endure now, you won't even think about like what Yadi said as to the reward that you get at the end. You just got to want the reward. That's all. Next question.
The next question is, I can't pronounce the name. It says,
you can just read the question. If you,
yeah, come on, sir. Genesis 11:7. God confounded the language. Is the language still confounded?
Okay, so let's read that.
Genesis 11:7.
Go to let us go down.
Not read that again.
So this is the book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 7, and it reads.
Let's start at verse 5.
Verse 5, and it reads, and the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men built. Verse 6, and they said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do.
So now who can break that down? Verse 6. It says the people are one language, and this the way you want to read it is like, and the Lord said, behold, the people is one, they all have one language, and this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Like he's reading this as anger. Like he's not reading this like, and this is what they begin to do. He's not reading it like that. He's reading it like these niggas doing this. Like they got one language. They could be on one accord. And this what they do? In the back, he wanted to answer it.
Salakia, sir, if I may. So this is when when they were trying to build the tower to go up to fight the Lord. And he confused them. He sent the angels to confuse them.
Well, before you get to the angels confuse them, this they became to do is what you're saying when they build a tower. Now, what is building a tower and the things that they when it says that they may reach up to heaven and let us make a name? That's the other thing. And let us make a name. What was it under? Like, what were they doing? Who can break that part down? In the back.
Slacky, so they're trying to be of the world.
Meaning, you're right. I saw it. Yadi. That's what they was doing. Like what they try to say they're doing, you know, the conspiracy theorists, when they like to say the New World Order, like a one world government, one world body. But what can you do in that one world government? Whatever it is that you want. Whatever you want to worship, you can worship. Whatever you want to sleep with, you can sleep with. Whatever it is that you want to do, that's what we're going to do to defy the Most High. It wasn't about obeying. It was about fighting and being against the Most High. Just like today, it's about fighting and being against the Most High. Everything that they do, starting with their Christian church, is to be against the Most High, period. There's nothing that the world does to be on one accord with the Most High, except for those of us in here that actually know what it means to do it. So now read verse 7, where he has the question at.
Verse 7. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, and they may not understand one another.
So his question was, do we not? Is the languages confounded now? For a time, the languages were. Now, the one language of the Lord would be Hebrew. So like Isaiah 28, I think it's Isaiah 28:11, when it says, with stammering lips and with another tongue will I speak to the people. So overall, you can say that the languages are still confounded for those that don't know the language of the Most High. You can't say that. Because as okay.
Now, his second part, he says, how can we build? The Most High confounded the language, so we can't build. So he said, how can we build? The Most High.
Well, this doesn't say that the Lord, this doesn't say that we wouldn't be able to build if we didn't have the language. So now you can give me Isaiah 28, I think it's Isaiah 28 and 11, where it says with stammering lips and with another tongue. I think it's Isaiah 28 and 11. Read that.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 28, verse 11. And it reads, for with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to his people.
Now, with that said, he does pose a question. He says, so we can't build. Is that true? Is the reason we can't build is because of the language? I need a biblical answer. Is the reason we can't build because of the language? Well, first, let me get that answer first. Is that yes or no? We can't build because of the language? Who says that? So we all agree that that's not true, right? So why can't we build? No. What is that, Hosea 4 and 6? That's a good one. That's a good answer. Anybody else? Like Hosea 4 and 6 says we destroy for a lack of knowledge. That's why can't he said we can't build because the language is confounded. So we all agree that that's not true, that's why we can't build. So then I ask, well, why can't we build? Yeah, does that? You gotta have a scripture. Somebody get me Isaiah 59, and we're gonna start at verse 1.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 59, verse 1, and it reads, behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy, that it cannot hear.
Because remember, he talked about the language. So the Lord ear is not heavy, that it cannot hear what we're saying. We're crying to the Most High. I remember in Exodus, the 2nd chapter, the cry of Israel went up to the Most High by reason of bondage. The cry didn't go to Pharaoh to get free. The cry went up to the Most High to get free. In 2024, our cry don't go up to the Most High to get out of bondage. Our cry goes to the president. The biggest fight now is to vote for Biden or Trump. Neither one of them have done anything for black people. Or they'll reduce it and say, well, vote for the local magistrate or vote for the local council. Instead of nobody ever thinks we should go to the Lord, even though we all serve or say we serve the Most High. Read the next verse.
Verse 2. But your iniquities have separated.
But your what?
But your iniquities.
That's what nobody ever want to face. Your sin have separated us. That's what keeps the Lord from preventing us from building. It's your sin. Now, that's simple. That sounds simple at the surface level. That damn, why we can't build? Because you go to church on Sunday, because you want to eat pork, you want to get high, you want to sell drugs, you want to have sex with whores, you want to kill, you want to steal. Now, when you can stop that, we can build. That's how we build. When you can actually stop sinning, you can build. Keep going.
But your iniquities have separated between you and your God, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear.
Now we can stop sinning, he can hear us. If we can stop sinning, then we can build. That's why I love UPK. Like, we can build in here because we stop sinning in here. And now we can build. We can build Houston. We can build Cali. We can build New York. We can build Delaware. We can build everywhere because we found the cheat code. The cheat code is stop sinning. Your pastor been telling you your whole life God loves the sinner. He hates the sin. You come in here and you find out sinner don't exist unless I do it. A sinner does not, like, thou shalt not commit adultery is beautiful. The only way that gets broken is if I commit adultery. If I don't commit adultery, thou shalt not commit adultery is just something we read on a tablet. You just something you read. Oh yeah, don't commit adultery. It's just something you read. But once we commit it, now the Lord stops hearing. Proverbs 28:9 says, if you turn your ear from hearing the law, your prayer is an abomination to God. Now imagine as they praying for salvation, but they're not keeping the law, the Lord is not hearing that. Read verse 3.
Verse 3. For your hands are defiled with blood.
That's it. The blood on your hands, if you abort your babies, that's blood on your hands. When you sell the drugs, that's blood on your hands. As you in the gangs, that's blood on your hands. You go in that Christian church, that is blood on your hands. You in the white man's military, that's blood on your hands. Everything is blood on your hands. That's why we can't build. Just to answer the question. All right. I'll take the next questions. I see it's a lot of them on there, though.
12 in a row.
Yeah. Okay. Con out of one kind.
Oh man. Okay, so the next question is from Kaya. It says, "Is it lawful to leave your spouse if you are being used as a punching bag?"
God damn. I'm assuming now. So I would need a breakdown on there. What is it lawful for any spouse to do, whether they're a punching bag or not? Separate. That's what Yadi was going to yell at. You can separate. Like 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter, says you can separate for a time. And so I would advise you first to get some counsel, but you should not be around anybody that's violently harming you. I would never advise a woman or a man to stay with the opposite that's being abused by them. You can separate or be apart. There's no law that says you have to be under the same house, so you can separate and get counsel. That's what I would advise her. And that's 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter that I just read, or paraphrase rather. You can give me the next question.
Akira Salakia, sir, if I may receive an explanation on if a covenant is broken when a man commits adultery, or is it only broken by the woman?
What covenant is she talking about? Is she saying like?
I think she refers to the law, maybe instead of the covenant.
What covenant? She
like
talking
a
about
law of
marriage?
adultery. I think she's confused on the law of adultery. Sounds like.
Okay, what I think she might be saying is, and this is what I get a lot. I think, and she can tell me if I'm correct. Is she saying if the man commits adultery, does that mean I have to be married to him anymore? Because that's what I get a lot. I've had so many when I had women get mad at me because they'll come to me and say they don't have to be with their husband no more because he committed adultery somewhere else. So can you ask her if that's the question? Like type in if that's what she's asking. Because I need to know what covenant she's talking about. Meaning, so like say a brother has 2 wives, right? And no, I'm sorry. Let's say a brother has a wife. And then he goes and deals with another man's woman. That's adultery, what he just did. So women will tell me they don't have to be married to him anymore. Like the existing wife says she can divorce him now because he committed adultery over there. That's what women would think. And that's just not true. If that's the case, any sin that man commits, you can leave him. Why is it only the sin of adultery that you can leave him? If he eat pork, you're saying you can leave him. So I just need to know what covenant they're talking about. You can give me the next question until she answers.
Sir. The next question is, Salakia, sir, can I get a breakdown on Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 11? Sir. Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 11.
Did they have a question on it?
Sir, what does it mean? What does it mean time and chance happens to us all?
Okay, we read it.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 11, and it reads, I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to the men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all.
Okay, so who knows what that means? Anybody know it? So he basically saying the race is not to the swift, meaning it doesn't matter how fast you are, because everybody thinks they're fast. Not to the strong, everybody thinks they're strong. Not to the wise, everybody thinks they're wise. But time and chance happen to them all. This is very simple. Not
You get old, and some people just faster, or the Lord going to just deal with you.
That's just that simple. Say it again, so they can hear you again.
You get old, and somebody just maybe
don't
better.
think old. Don't without the. You're right. Just don't put the old part. Say after old.
Some people just may be better.
That's it. But it happened when it says time and chance happen to them all. We can both be strong, but it just might not be your time to be stronger than me, or my time to be stronger than you. We can both be wise, and it's just that you're smarter at this thing than I am. And that's important to know, because some people believe that they got to be smart in everything. Do you have to be smart in everything? I know I don't. I don't try to be smart in nothing except what I'm good at. But what I'm good at, I'll be smart at. So if somebody else comes in, and let's say if it's prophesying, right? So Yachty comes and Yachty says, Cap, I think this prophecy matches this. Now I outrank him. So should I say no, it's my way because I outrank him, and so my rank should mean that I'm smarter than him? Or should I say, no, Yachty, you got this one? If I can't say, Yachty, you got, or Yatazar, for those that don't know, we talk about Captain Yatazar. If I can't say, no, you got this, then I'm not as smart as I think I am. And it's his time to be smart.
It's the same way with Joseph, how his brothers were older than him, but he had the dreams and everything when he was coming to them.
It's just not meant to be. The oldest son is supposed to always get the inheritance, but we saw Jacob get it instead of Esau. We saw Joseph get, Ephraim get it instead of Manasseh. It don't always work that way. So it's just the time and chance is just simply means just because you're fast don't mean you're going to win every time. It just might not be your time. All right.
So the sister replied, you want to go back to it?
Yeah.
She said the covenant of marriage. She said, in this case, the adultery is sex with whores, not another man's wife, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense, but you still married to him, unfortunately. You just chose the wrong man. I can't. So he's sinning. Well, here's what she's saying. She must have a husband that's sleeping with whores. I feel sorry for the sister. But she is still bound to him. That's like, go to 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter, in the 1st verse. Somebody read that. Lord be with her. If she ever was to get the counsel, what's the first question I would ask? Is how does she choose or pick that husband? 1 Corinthians 7. I'm sorry. That ain't what I want. It's First Corinthians. I'm sorry, Romans. I think it is what I want. Romans 7:1. I believe that's the one I want.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 1, and it reads, Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law. How that the law. Know ye, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law.
Keep going.
How that the law had dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
Keep going.
Verse 2. For the woman which had an husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth.
Yeah, unfortunately, sis, I have not seen a law that allows a woman to divorce a man. I have not seen that. I've only seen, now I have seen where the Lord has killed a man for a woman. That's, I forget the sister's name, but I know the husband's in the back. Is it Abigail? Abigail was a righteous sister married to a wicked woman. She obeyed the Lord, and the Lord killed Nabat, and she became David's wife. I'm not saying that's you, sis, because I don't know your story, but you are still bound to that brother as long as you live. Sorry, it's a lot. But I will advise you to get counsel. I'll take the next question.
Tony Davis says, is it lawful to use a boarhead brush?
Yeah, I don't. Why can't we use? Is there a reason we can't use a boarhead? Is that? Yeah, it's lawful. I don't know no reason we can't use a boarhead brush.
Because it's only the flesh of the animal that's
Yeah, you can't eat it.
Right. The next question is Darius Harrod. He says, Salakia, sir, is it lawful to get a lineup?
No, it is unlawful to get a shape up. That's right in Leviticus, was it 1927? Yeah, let's read that. Yeah, I had a brother when before I started growing my hair out, when I had it low, like the Lord blessed my hairline a little bit, but I had a brother call me like he was going to take me to counsel because he thought I had a shape up.
This is the book of Leviticus.
I respected it though.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 27.
I did. I respected it because he was a young man. He's like, so you got shape up, sir? He said, sir, and everything. I respected it. Leviticus 19:27. Read that.
Come on, sir. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 27, and it reads, Ye shall not round the corners of your head, neither shall thou mar the corners of thy beard.
All of this right here. Like you can't get the shape ups over here. You can't line that up. All of that is unlawful. All right. Next question. I'm gonna do Hebrews 10. I'm gonna get it in a second. Yeah. My bad. I'm gonna get it in a second. I'm gonna take this one more question, then I'm gonna get into it. My bad, Yadi. Go ahead.
Okay. So we got a question from Sister Kasala. It says, Salakia, sir, if I may, what is the best advice you can give on building a marriage? Also, what is the difference in building and forcing a marriage to work, if that makes sense?
Go to, what is it, Ephesians 5 and I think 1 Corinthians 13, when it talks about love is kind, that's the scripture they give when you get married in church. So give me Ephesians 5 and start at 21. And then the other one is, I think it's 1 Corinthians 13. Yeah. Okay.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 21. And it reads, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God.
That's where you want to start at. Like if you want your marriage to work, you have to submit yourselves one and another in the fear of God. A lot of people, which are going to go into my topic, think loving God is great. The scriptures say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love. That's what the scriptures say. And so now, when you marry a man or when you're married to a woman, you have to understand that you didn't make this marriage just of yourself. The witness is the Most High. The witness, the Most High, is the one you told this man, and you told this woman. This 1 Corinthians 13 and oh no, I'm wrong. Wait. Charity, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, that's it. So when you're telling the Most High that I'm going to be joined with this man forever. Not a marriage contract. It's always weird with the marriage contract thing because they always say, the church say you're not supposed to have sex until you're married, but everybody that had sex before they got the certificate of marriage. So I don't be understanding which one it is. But you telling the Most High that you're going to stay with this man and woman, so you're submitting yourselves to the Most High in your marriage. Keep going.
Verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husband.
And that's something that women don't learn today, like what it means to actually submit and obey. Most women are taught that if the man doesn't have money, if he doesn't have power, if he doesn't have a car or a house, that he's not the one that you should be married to. But if you ask those same women if they had sex with these ain't shit men, they've all had sex with them. All of them. Listen, all of these women that y'all see on TV that teach y'all not to submit are having sex with the same type of men that they're telling you not to marry. I remember that there was this sister named Cynthia G on YouTube. She was famous on YouTube for trashing black men to no end. She actually got into it with the cat I do the show with, the Tommy Sotomayor cat. They used to go back and forth about it. And she used to call black men defeated. They lost to the white man. They didn't have no power, didn't have nothing, and got pregnant by the same man she was talking about. The same man she was talking about, She got pregnant by him. He had 4 kids. Now he got the 5th kid with her. So you can think that the women that you're listening to online is not getting with the same man that you're not discriminating, that they're telling you not. You'll be kidding yourselves. A woman in her right spirit, if she's submissive, there's nothing that she can't get from her husband. Nothing. You're going to get your way. He's going to spoil the hell out of you. That's in the scriptures. In the Apocrypha, they talked about how the wife would smack the crown off the king. No nigga in the world would think to smack the crown off the king, but the woman's so comfortable, she smacked the crown, and all the king do is just laugh. That's the power a submissive woman has over her man. Women just don't know that. So now it says, wives, submit yourselves unto your husbands. Read after that.
As unto the Lord.
Yeah, that's your Lord. When it says as unto the Lord, that's as unto the Most High. That's how you're supposed to submit. So your husband can be your Lord. Now, if you love God and you're about God, read that scripture to him. And that's what women got to first understand. Read verse 23.
Verse 23. Mm-hmm. For the husband is the head of the wife. And for you men, that's something that y'all don't go into as you should. It says the husband is the head of the wife, meaning you speak for both of y'all. So now if you speaking for both of y'all, why would you do anything to damage what you're in charge of? What you say out of your mouth, like mentally, like that sister was talking about, I think being physically abused, but we always forget what mental abuse is. Mental abuse is worse than physical abuse. I remember I told my mother one time, my mother beat the shit out of me. I was like 14. And I told my mother one time, I said, yeah, you beat me. I was sitting right on this washing machine in the house. And I said, yeah, you'll beat me. It'll hurt for a little bit, but then it'll go away. I'll be all right. I said it just like that. And she gave me such an ass whipping. After that, my aunt had to drag me out of the house. I mean, she was beating the shit out of me. But I was right, though. When you beat somebody physically, it goes away. When people stay in physical abuse relationships, it's because of what's being done to them mentally. Has nothing to do with you're not beating somebody and making them stay. It's what you're mentally oppressing them with that does it. And if you're the head of your woman, what you do to her mentally can either make her great or can destroy her. So if you're not leading her in the right way to be submissive, let's say you meet a woman and she's not naturally submissive. It's your job to get her to be submissive. And if she's not submissive, then you should not what? Marry her. The problem in relationships, you have sex first, figure it out later. You know she's a monster, but that tail is a monster. Salakia. That tail so monster, you just say, I'm going to deal with it. You know he's trash, but that chest just looks amazing. So you just wonder what everything else going to look like because his chest looks so good. And then after the sex is over, you realize, like I always quote that song, Reasons by Earth, Wind, and Fire. You ever heard that song? The reasons that we hear. But what does the word say? Now, after the love game has been played and all the reasons was just a charade. So the reasons that you thought that tail was monstrous, that chest was beautiful, then you done had the sex. That tail ain't as good because the mouth is monstrous. That chest don't match what he's not doing for you. But it's too late now because you done joined in sex. So the first thing, before you even get to marriage, you should want to know, do I want to stay with him? Do I want to submit to him? Do I want to lead her, take charge of her, take care of her, fix her problem? If you don't want to be the head of a woman, then you don't want to be married to her at all. It says for the man is the head of the wife. Read on. Even as Christ is the head of the church. Mm-hmm. And he is the savior of the body.
So if Christ in that metaphor is the savior of the body, that means you're the savior of that marriage. As the man, success or fail rests on your shoulders. Even if she's wicked, even if she commits adultery, nobody's ever going to look at the relationship and say, hey, it's her fault. it's going to always start with the man because you're the man. So if you're going to be the savior of the body, you have to lead that body. Read 25.
Kanamakan. Verse 25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church.
And here's the other thing. As Christ loved the church, for you sisters, Christ corrected the church. So you're going to get corrected. You're going to be told what to wear, what not to wear, what to spend the money on, what to not spend the money on, who to hang around with, who not to hang around with, where to go, where not to go. It's for your protection. The scripture says where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. And you are owned by your man. Just like who was a woman's first owner? Say it again. You said it. Her father. Your first owner was your father. The problem is your mama kicked your father out and taught you to not need or require ownership. That's what you learned as a kid. You learned that no man should own you. Ain't that what they say? You don't own me unless you put a ring on it. And then when they put a ring on it, they still won't let you own it at all. And that's crazy. So now, if you're going to be to that man, then you got to understand you have to be fully submersed into that man, fully submitted unto that man. If you're going to take that woman, you have to fully save her. You have to fully be her head, fully protect her, fully guide her. I want to get into my topic now. I answered that question, right? So we're going to go to Romans 10 and 1 first. Hebrews 10 and 26. So Romans 10 and 1 first. We're going to read that verse first. And then from there, we're going to go to Hebrews 10 and 26. And then I think Revelations 1 and 18. So whoever has Romans 10 and 1, you can read that one first. Romans 10 and 1.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 1. And it reads, Brethren, my heart desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved.
Now, this is important because this is Paul saying this in the New Testament. Now, this ain't my subject, but just to touch on this, there's nowhere in the New Testament that an Israelite's desire was for all nations to be saved. There ain't no prophet in the Bible that said he want the Edomites, the Canaanites, Jebusites, or anybody else to be saved. So if he didn't want nobody to be saved, then we don't teach nobody else to save because we're following the same pattern. So his prayer to God for Israel, that's where our prayer is supposed to be. Contrary to the church is praying for everybody. Here's a problem with praying for everybody. Somebody got to win out of that everybody. If you're praying for all nations, one of them nations has to win. And it's not going to be your nation that's going to win. You don't believe me? Just look at life. We've been praying for all nations since we've been in America, and we're the only nation not winning. Every other nation is winning. Keep going.
Verse 2. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge.
And that's us. Like, we fill up them churches because there is a sense of if you're not going to church, you don't have no spirit. That does exist because we are naturally spiritual. Like, I make fun of us being spiritual all the time, but it's innate in our nature. I remember I went to Catholic church. I've never heard or looked at white people pray or talk to God and believe him. Never. But I believe black people. When black people talk to God, even when they're wrong, that is believable. Then when your mama talking, when your pastor talking, even though it's wrong, it's believable because of how intense they are into it. Like, they believe that I'm talking to Jesus. Even that pastor in Houston that told that girl to shut up. That's in Houston, right? Told that girl he was having altar call. She was in the back screaming. Ain't that a church in Houston? Yeah, that's in Houston. He said, shut up. We don't want to hear all that. To tell somebody to shut up during prayer to Jesus is crazy. And then he said, I only want to hear Jesus' voice, but he kept talking. But that, like, you believe that that's a spirit in the church, but it's a zeal, but not according to knowledge, because they're just regurgitating what their father taught them, their father taught them, their father taught them. That's not in there, because the love of God is not in no church whatsoever. And if anybody in this room or online wants to disprove me, just tell me what the church teaches that's in the Bible. Because I have not seen what the church teach that's in the Bible. I'll name a few. Sunday worship is not in the Bible. Easter bunnies is not in the Bible. That Christmas tree is in the Bible as idolatry in Jeremiah the 10th chapter. God love everybody is not in the Bible. Joseph not being the father of Jesus is not in the Bible. Dying, going to heaven and hell is not in the Bible. That first Sunday where you got to drink the blood in them crackers, that's not in the Bible. Eating pork, you cannot do that. God did not die. Excuse me, Jesus did not die so you can eat pork. Jesus being God. Like in 1 Corinthians 8 chapter, it says, but to us there is but one God the Father and one Lord Jesus. So here you have in the Bible one God the Father, but the church teaches that Jesus is God. So I'll be asking them, so did God die? Like when Jesus died on the cross, did God die? Just ask them that question and see what they say. So you telling me God died? Or who was Jesus talking to when he prayed to the Father not to drink the cup? When Christ was down there, he's sweating, like Christ ball out sweating and like, Father, if this cup could be passed. Who was he talking to? Was he talking to himself? I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to serve a cat schizophrenia. That's schizophrenia. If a cat coming here right now saying he God, we're going to say he's schizophrenic. But that's the Jesus that y'all trying to put on him. So I'm telling the church that the God that y'all serve is not the God of this Bible. So now go to Hebrews 10 and 26. And one of the things that they also teach is that God is soft, or Jesus is soft, or serving God or Jesus means that Jesus is not a punisher. And I'm going to probably tell y'all something that y'all. So here's a question I'm gonna ask y'all before we read Hebrews 10. Who has the keys to hell? Who knows the answer to that? You said Jesus Christ said, so Satan don't have the keys to hell. So can we read Revelations 1 and 18? Because this is another thing. Like even in the concept of Satan and Jesus, they'll tell you Satan is against God. They'll tell you Satan is an adversary to God. He fights God, and we can't listen to him for that reason. And what's weird to me is like they're giving Satan the same power as God and don't even realize it. And like Christ said, our prayer is supposed to be, our Father which art in heaven. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So if Satan can disobey God in heaven, then we can disobey God down here. So why would we ask for that kingdom to come down here? That's an unorganized kingdom. That's a kingdom of what we already have. So we praying for a kingdom to come down here that already exists. Think about that. If Satan can run amok, and Satan been back up to heaven, he was up there with Job when the Lord asked him about Job. So if the angels could rebel up there and it's already chaos down here, are you telling me we're praying for more chaos to come down here and we calling that the kingdom of heaven? So who has Revelations 1 and 18?
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 1, verse 18, and it reads, I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore.
Now, this is talking about Christ. Christ is him that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive evermore. Read on.
Amen. And have the keys of hell and of death.
Now we're going to learn about the real Christ that you serve. So now Christ said he has the keys to hell and death. So now what does that mean? Now we're going to blow a Christian's mind today. What does that mean? He has the keys to hell and death means what? Who knows? Yachty? That's a statement. That's true. But give me more. The keys to hell and death means what?
Is it because Christ is through Christ we get righteousness in heaven. So of course,
Righteousness ain't in here. We talk about hell and death. He got the keys to hell and death. Nah.
What if he could make you? He decides if the earth is better or not, or he has he's the doorway to decide if the earth is better or not.
Okay, you close. You're just not saying it good enough, but you close. That's closer. If you can get hit by the car, get AIDS, and get hell, Christ decides. Or if you just die, Christ decides. That's the keys to hell and death. Hell is a condition. Hell is what happens here, right? Death is the end of all things. Like there ain't no coming back from death. So when it says he has the keys of hell and death, he's the punisher. He's the executioner, right? Not you gonna say something? Not.
So that'd be like when he said the Lord turned away his head and they die. Would it be like if you selling this drug, Christ got to decide if you about to go to jail or get shot in this transaction?
Correct. Yeah, Christ decides that. Now that's contrary to the church because the church will have you believe Christ just loved you too much to do that. So now let's read Hebrews 10 and 26. Let's read that real fast. Like that's gangster. Like y'all be giving all this power to Satan, which is insane to me. And you serve Satan at the same time, which is a trip. There'd be so much adultery and fornication and homosexuality. Oh, that's the other thing. You could be a homosexual. I forgot about that one. How I forget that one? The church full of homosexuality, full of it. The choir director, the choreographer, the organ player, the pastor himself half the time. Atlanta, they got the first man. The first man? I don't think I want no rib in Atlanta. It's rough. It's rough in Atlanta. Who got Hebrews? They got the first man in Atlanta. Who got Hebrews 10 and 26?
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 26.
First man is crazy. They do it openly. Like Isaiah 3 and 9 say they declare their sin as Sodom and Gomorrah. They declare it and hide it not. Keep read it from the top.
Come on, sir. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 26. And it reads, for if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth.
Now, this is why I say the church don't teach about God. The church teaches that you can sin because Christ took away the law. So he nailed it to the cross. Anytime you see this verse where, like Paul said, Christ died for sinners, of which I am chief, he's talking about what he did before he met Christ. He's not talking about what he did after Christ. Whatever you did before you came into the truth, yes, you was a sinner, but you're not a sinner now. Like if you say you're a crackhead, you know what you mean? You know what you're saying when you're a crackhead? You actively go out to smoke crack. Or do they got something they call for lean? What the lean head? They got a term for that? A drinker? You're a drinker? Is that the term? So if you a who? A bar baby? Am I saying it right? A bar baby? A bar? Okay, so if you say you're a bar baby, you somebody that actively goes out and drinks lean. So if you say you're a sinner, you're somebody that actively goes out and sins. I am not a sinner at all. Right, exactly. That's your profession is sinning. Now, this just said if we sin willfully, now we're going to get what you shouldn't be doing. And let's see if Christ, if this soft sissy, we don't already got the keys to hell and death. So when you dying, you know, you can check Christ for that. Even in Revelations 19, when Christ comes, it said he had the heads, the crowns of kings. He's not coming to be nice. So now it says, if you sin willfully, read,
there remaineth no more.
No, if you sin willfully.
Slack you, sir. Slack you. For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sin.
He didn't die for that. You sin willfully after you get the knowledge of the truth. Christ didn't die for that, which means what? You're going to get punished for that. Here comes hell. Here comes death. Because Christ did not die for you to keep sinning. And here's another question. Can someone tell me the law you can't keep? Somebody hit me with that. Somebody let me know. Somebody got mad one time. They said, Cap, you perfect. I said, yeah, they got mad at me for that. And then I asked them, I said, well, tell me what sin I'm breaking or tell me what law we can't keep. To say you perfect according to God is to just say that you keep the law. Even if you say you perfect, you're a man that's actively trying to keep the law. That's what it means to be perfect. To just like to be a sinner, you're actively trying to sin. To say you're perfect, you're actively trying to keep the law. In the book of Psalms, it says, mark the perfect man. If a perfect man can be marked, then a perfect man can exist. And that's what we're supposed to strive to be. So now it says, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. That means punishment is coming. So if you get forgiven for adultery and then you go commit adultery, punishment is coming. You get told you ain't supposed to eat that pork. I know brothers and sisters that have had high blood pressure, diabetes, all type from eating unclean foods and have stopped eating unclean foods and their health got better. If you want your health to change, your diet has to change. That's the whole point of Leviticus, the 11th chapter. It's a dietary law that can help you live better or more healthier. And then you go back to eating, a punishment is coming. You sleep with whores, you stop sleeping with whores, and then you go sleep with them again, a punishment is coming. Let's keep reading. Read verse 27.
Verse 27. But a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversary.
It says, but a certain, it says, so after no remaineth sacrifice for sins, it says, but a certain fearful, looking for judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries. That's what's coming. That's what's coming after you willfully break the law after being forgiven for all the wicked things that you've been forgiven for. Read verse 28.
Verse 28. He that despises Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses.
So now under the old covenant, if you transgress the law, they would have to have 2 witnesses to testify against you breaking that law. That's how it used to be. This is how you know the New Testament is worse than the Old Testament. A lot of people think the New Testament is lighter, is easier. What did Christians say? It was too hard for us to keep the law, so Jesus had to come and die for us. If you was already breaking the law, what you're saying is Jesus died so you can keep breaking the law. His death was pointless. What was the point of the death? We was already breaking, so he got to die for us to keep breaking the law when we was already breaking the law? That don't even make no sense. Now read 29.
Verse 29. Of how much sore punishment?
Of what?
How much sore punishment?
It's the New Testament. Under the Old Testament, you needed 2 or 3 witnesses to get judged. Verse 29 starts off saying of how much sorer punishment, of how much more punishment. Read.
So suppose ye shall he be thought worthy.
How much more worthy of a punishment should you be? Keep going.
Who's had trodden underfoot the Son of God.
Like when you pissed on Christ's grave. Like you stepping, when you come into the truth, or when the Christians tell you that God loves the sinner, he hates the sin, and then you go out there and sin, you're stepping on Christ's death. You're pissing on his grave. You're counting his death like it was nothing. Keep going.
And had counted the blood of the covenant, wherewith he was sacrificed, an unholy thing, and had done despite unto the Spirit of grace.
Now here's the question, because the Christian gonna say we ain't under the law, we under grace, right? So now, what is the Spirit of grace? Okay, but break it down. If you had to break that down, a time to get right, how would you break it down and make it make sense to someone? Like grace. The spirit of grace. Uh-huh. There we go. Uh-huh.
You miss a payment. So like they'll give you a grace period to come up with the rest of the money, but you still have to come up with the rest of that money for that.
And what happens if you don't come up with that money?
They're gonna cut it off.
They're gonna cut it off. Not.
I would say like probation, a probationary period.
So both of y'all are right, because the spirit of grace, what he said about that bill, when you break grace down, all you got to do is use a bill collector. Black people will understand that because we owe every bill under the sun. Right. Everybody calling a bill collector. I can't pay it this day. I could pay it that day, and that bill collector gives you a grace period. And you in the spirit of the electric bill at that point. You in the spirit of the car note at that point. You know what spirit you in? Getting that money up. Because you know if you don't get that money up, the car getting taken. Well, the lights are getting cut off. And y'all the South for real. It's hot down here. Like Texas won. I was between Florida and Texas is the South. Because it's hot. Like y'all got to have electricity for them AC units down here. Because it is hot down here. But now, when that bill come, if you ain't got that money, the best you can say, you're going to come up with a scheme. You're going to come up with something to justify getting what you're going to be looking for, an extension. Well, the Lord ain't got no extension. When you step or piss on the Lord's grave because you decided to keep breaking the commandments, that hell and death is coming from Christ. Okay.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 4 verses 18. And if the righteous be scarcely saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?
Read that again.
This is 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 18. If the righteous scarcely be saved.
Start at 17 if you don't mind.
Verse 17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God.
Now, the reason why I had him read this here, because the Christian church say that they're the house of God. But we see in their judgment, they getting shot, they getting ran out the church, all that homosexuality that's coming out of that church, everything that we see at that church, you see in that judgment there. That's the left hand. Now, on the right hand, that judgment does begin with us. Like if we're the temple of the Lord, and we're the house that the Lord is supposed to reside in, that judgment must begin here. And so we have to look and examine ourselves as we're condemning everything else that's outside. Keep reading.
And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God?
That's why I read Revelations 1 and 18. What is the end of them that obey not the gospel of God? Because the church will have you believe that you die and go to hell. So what is the condition we're in now? I don't know a worse condition. This is an unjust God if you tell me that the child born without a mother or father has the same right to get to a place called heaven or hell as a child born with two parents, nice house, good job, wealth passed down to them. How do they have the same advantage to die and go to the same place when this people is already in a hellish condition? They're born ready to die. They're born like that. And you telling me they got the same opportunity? Well, or the flip side, what if the way that we were born is the way to prove how we're supposed to live, period? Because we can change this condition. What we started this class off with Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter. It said, as gold is tried, acceptable men are tried. What if the condition you was born in was to try you, to make you, to build you, to breed you? Because for sure, all of y'all are in here. And if we was to hear your stories, they would be horror stories. And you were all bred to be in here. Same thing with the sisters. You was bred to be in here. And you are the gold that was acceptable to the Most High. So you telling me we can't bring this outside? We can't condemn the church and make more gold? Build more men? Build more sisters? We should be able to do that. Keep reading.
verse 18. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?
And if we can barely make it, the scriptures say, he that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. So as much gold as we talk about we are, the minute we fall off, we just like the sinners. That's what I'm afraid of.
Right.
I am definitely afraid of ever being one of them again. I don't ever want to be one of them. So I'm making my business not, because if the the righteous scarcely be saved, meaning it's hard for the righteous to get in there. So if it's hard for them, imagine the sinners. And so that's the point. All right. So I know Yadi wanted me to go into that. So with that, I pass the class to the guard.
Damn right.
All right.
Clap it up.
The war, right? His name's the war, right? Who? Yabakan? Yabakan Salaki. I know. That's why I had the name mixed up. Salaki.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, found in Numbers 18 and 21 and the book of Malachi 3 and 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'ashara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocation, Feast of First Fruits. This will be the closing of the Feast of First Fruits on Monday, June 17th, 2024. Starts before sundown. Found in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 10 through 22. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. That concludes security announcements.
Everybody, mind you, please stand. One courtesy salute. We'll do one courtesy salute for the teacher. Individual, Majum Shabbat. I Majum. Barak. Yagim Matah. Sar. Sisters, we can do a salute for the sisters. Turn to face your sisters. Individual, Majum Shabbat. I Majum. Barak. Yagim Matah. Class dismissed.